Hey everyone, back again, and today is the day that we finish Plum Patio. So, where we left off last time, the factory replacement manifold is finished, and now all the other ancillary details to put the car back together are left to finish at this point. So what those entail are replacing the valve cover gasket, putting new studs in the head for the exhaust manifold, putting a new radiator in it, new radiator hoses, modifying the radiator. Ended up having to get a new Mishimoto fan shroud and twin fans to work with the new 1G radiator. So just a variety of little things to do to get this wrapped up and get it ready to run and drive again. So we're actually headed right now down to ship a manifold out and then stop by O'Reilly to pick up the valve cover gasket and the new radiator hoses and whatever other little details I may have forgotten yesterday when I ordered those parts. So let's head down there, let's get those parts and get ready to put this thing back together. Alright, manifold shipped. I have all the parts that I ordered to finish the car up. So I'm going to head back to the shop now and we will get rocking on putting this thing back together. So I will see you guys there momentarily. Alright, back in the shop now. And as you guys just saw, we went to go get the last few parts needed to put old Plum Patty back together. So what we have here, obviously the factory replacement manifold. I bought a little 4-pin connector to wire both the fans in. We have valve cover gasket, upper and lower 1G radiator hoses. Have a brand new set of OE exhaust manifold studs to go into the head. Have 4 of the large studs to go into the turbo to fasten the manifold to it. Have 4 little titanium nuts that are an M10 125 thread, but only a 12 millimeter hex head on it to allow a little bit more space on the front side of the turbine flange here. And then rounding it out, we have a nice 4-layer exhaust manifold gasket and a stainless turbine gasket. So all the OE and Mitsu stuff I got from the guys or the crew over at STM, and great people. Have always helped me out with all the DSM stuff that I've done. But I digress. We still need to clean up this mess on the front side of the engine here and get that valve cover gasket replaced. So why not go ahead and start degreasing this, get it cleaned up, and once I have that done, I can go ahead, put the new gasket set in, and that'll be done, and then we can start putting the manifold on. Alright, as you saw, I went ahead and got the valve cover gasket replaced, and I cleaned the front of the head and the engine up as well as I can, aside from pulling all of the accessories off, which I'm not going to do right now. And one note with these DSM valve covers, underneath of the plastic cover here, these center bolts on the valve cover, you have to be careful with putting those on, as if you tighten them down too much, you can end up breaking the valve cover. Not that I've ever done that before, but yeah, you just Don't apply a ton of torque to it. You don't need it. It's all O-ring gasket sealed, and should be good to go. So now that all of this is cleaned up, and well, as clean as it's going to be, I can go ahead and put the new studs into the head in preparation to slide the manifold up on. I'm also going to go ahead and run a tap through the 4 holes on the turbine housing to chase those and make them clean and happy to accept the new studs that I got there. I believe that I'll have to shorten the 2 studs that will go on the front side to clear the front of the collector with the angle that it has. But we are pretty much ready at this point to start putting the hot parts back on. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Alright, so we have the manifold all installed on Plum Patty here, and even factoring in the few tight locations that I was a little bit worried about, it didn't install too badly. Not any worse than any other factory replacement 4G63 manifold that I have put on before. So now that the hot side is wrapped up, the next order of business is to get the radiator in and to begin modifying it. So I think the modification should be pretty simple from the little bit of looking that I did. If you see down in here, you have 1 and 2, the 2 factory radiator mounting locations. On the 1G, I believe they sit a little bit farther out. So what I need to do is place the radiator in the car and mark out where I need to put 2 new pegs to get it to fasten properly to the bottom of the core support there. Once I get those on, I can put my new radiator hoses on, and at that point I should be able to put coolant in it and try to fire it up. So let's go ahead and get the radiator knocked out. Now, we have everything all wrapped up on Plum Patty, finally. And the battery is dead, like dead. Under 1 volt according to my multimeter. So I have the charger hooked up like I just showed, and going to try to put some life back into this thing. Also am in the process of adding coolant, which will obviously have to be burped in order to make this thing not overheat. So going to let it charge for a little while and hopefully be able to bring the battery back to life. If not, then I'll have to go and buy another battery, but I should be able to at least jump it and get it to fire up and check for any leaks or anything like that. So we'll see in a little bit if we can get some voltage in the battery, or if not, then we'll just jump it and hear what it sounds like. I just measured voltage on it, and we're at 12.913 volts, which obviously is a little bit lower than we would like to see, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on to engine start, and let's give it a shot and see what happens. So fingers crossed, no leaks, nothing catastrophic happening. Oh, got some good lights in here. Get my key. We're at neutral. Okay. Come on, baby. There she is. All right, let's go see. Don't hear any leaks. Don't hear anything dumb. Bit of ticking is probably just the lifter's not quite pumped up yet, but she lives. Probably doesn't sound much different. Let's take a look out back. Do a little rev clip. And there we have it. We have one living, breathing Plum patty. So, need to burp the coolant still. I need to address that battery issue and see if there's any other little gremlins to deal with it. But all in all, right now, it's sitting here running, purring, real happy. So, real happy with that. But the rest of it will be something to wrap up for another video. Not quite sure when that'll come out, but it will at some point. So until then, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and until then, we'll see you later.